All right, here we go. Exciting day today. We are welcoming a new OpenClaw team member to our team. Let's take a look at our team so far and who we have on board. If you don't know, this is day 13 of trying to build a completely automated SaaS system, everything from SEO to sales to development. We're starting off with the SEO team, but actually that gets expanded today, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Looking at our system documentation, let's take a look at our team members. Our org chart is Shad, me, that's the owner. We have a super chief of staff, so he's a OpenClaw agent who really oversees everything. I don't speak to him too much. He is someone that I rarely communicate with. I only communicate with them for one-off ad hoc tasks related to either system optimization or running cron jobs or things like that. In the organization itself, we have Atlas, the SEO director. We have Maven, who is our main workhorse. They're the project manager who manages all of our tasks for us. This is our task database. We have Quill, who's a content specialist. Cypher, our technical SEO. Cypher is our #1 agent. They are producing the most work. An example of that we could see is in our improvement in Lighthouse scores. So Google will rank your pages based on a number of factors, particularly load time, hierarchy, page structure. These things that are going on behind the scenes impact your SEO rankings and how far up they appear on the search results pages. And the higher score that you could get, the higher your pages can potentially rank. And we're up to a 97 performance, and that's exclusively due to Cypher's implementation of various fixes to reduce loading times, to improve font renders, just to improve the pages overall. And so this is probably the highest tangible output from the SEO system so far. SEO is a very long and time-consuming process that takes months before you could see many results, because a lot of it is going to be content writing. And this is some of the content pieces that have been produced by Quill, our writer. They work with Scout, who is our keyword researcher, to come up with topics. Scout has access to data for SEO, which is an API tool that allows you to get keyword data from competitors, from Google search pages, to see keyword volume. And Scout will create a hypothesis around what types of keyword pillars will work, such as internal linking, obviously, competitor analysis, in this case, Link Whisperer is up here, and it'll pass those keyword analysis over to Quill, who will create these articles. And the articles are fine, just kind of generic SEO content that you see from, produced from a lot of comparable systems, nothing that's groundbreaking by any means, but again, this early days in the system, or 13 days in, is really just to get content produced in a reliable, ongoing cadence. And once we get that kind of solidified, then we could go back and start to look at ways to improve these things. And a note on this, so SEO performance is largely indicated by your Google Search Console performance. And this is the dashboard for that. Google Search Console reports on how well your pages are serviced in Google organic results. And it has a comprehensive dashboard. Anyone who has a website would be looking at this on a regular basis. Big mess when you look at it like this, but if we knock down some of these things, too early to tell. It's only been 13 days, but we see a spike in average position. Actually, higher position or lower position is better. And you see this chart is inverted. So if you're ranking #1 for a keyword, you'll appear higher up here. We're seeing a spike here, and it's, again, early to tell, but perhaps the performance improvements from those changes that Cypher made are starting to pay off. And one of the other changes we saw on the team making was improving the page title and meta description on a subset of pages. I think it was 20 or 50 pages where they went in and they adjusted the title of the articles to make them more likely to be clicked, a little bit more better call to actions, and perhaps we're seeing an uptick there. So again, really early to tell. We're not being rewarded in terms of impressions yet. In fact, they were much higher before. So early days, but potential to look up. So back to what we were saying, as far as our organizational structure, we have a separate design division. It's hard for me I'm trying to follow typical SaaS best practices, and this is just like any company with human employees. I'm trying to segment it based on department function, and it gets a little bit muddy because there's a lot of overlap for certain things, and I'm kind of struggling with how to structure it. We have a separate design division, and this is kind of a utility internal agency for our SEO team, for any other team that we're going to build, where these people are going to be able to create visual assets. We have Prism, who's a creative director, and then we have Pixel, who's a designer. And visual assets for AI is a really difficult challenge to overcome. There's a lot of prompt crafting and in sculpting that needs to be done to make it look like it's not AI generated content. So that's a ongoing process that we're working on. But the new division, and welcome our new agent, is our revenue operations division. As I mentioned, Cypher, our technical SEO expert, the one who has gone into these pages on our blog site and even on our marketing site and have made these improvements, he had the most output. Quill has some writing output, and that's great, but I think Cypher's impact has been second to none as far as our OpenClaw agents. So that's why we're introducing a new agent named Forge. And Forge is our revenue systems architect. And they're basically someone who's going to go in and try and maximize revenue. And they're going to do that by establishing a baseline of things like conversion rates, revenue baseline, and they're doing that through Google Analytics, they're doing that through Stripe integrations, and they're doing it with our CRM, our customer relationship management tool. So Forge, the revenue systems architect, they report to Super. There are 3 peers. So there's Prism, the design director of Forge, the revenue systems architect, and Atlas, the SEO director. They all sit one level below Super. And they're powered by GPT 5.2 Codex. I actually had to move off of Codex and back to GPT 5.2. The issue there was that Google or OpenAI's caching windows default to 5 minutes or 1 hour. And a lot of your token calls to these model providers are context, and it's repeated for every time there's a call. And you need to have long-lasting cache windows related to that. And Anthropic only allows 5 minutes or 1 hour. OpenAI actually has a 24-hour one that you can enable via parameter, but it's not available with Codex. It's only available with 5.2. So perhaps that'll change in the future. Codex 5.3 has been released to a limited number of people. That's going to be enabled via the API, and it's a much stronger model, but that would need to be enabled via the 24-hour caching parameter. If that's not available, then there's no point for me to move to it. Again, organizational position, they sit below Super. They're peers of Atlas and Prism. They have KPI hierarchy. So the tier 1 is the 48-hour activation rate, and that's someone coming to our client website, Linkbot, and activating their account. And then after they activate their trial, the conversion rate from being a trial user to a paid user is their second tier 1 priorities. And it has a group of tier 2 priorities, such as funnel page views as the person makes their way through the funnel, onboarding funnel. And they have tier 3 metrics, and they are going to be set up largely in Google Analytics. They could be done in Stripe and also via our CRM tool. It has its phased build out for the work and activities that they're going to be doing initially. So they're going to define the activation events, they're going to map the revenue graphs. So it's doing all these things that are going to build a foundation for it to continuously analyze how well our conversion and our user acquisition is working. So I'm really excited about it. We have some authority model crafting here where it's able to work autonomously on certain things, but it's not able to do certain things. Like it's not able to modify Stripe subscriptions. It can never do that. There's things like it could potentially suggest that we have Stripe coupons, and it's going to come to me and it's going to ask me for approval around that. So really interesting. It took a while to get this set up in Slack. I haven't added, when I built the system, I built all 10 initial agents from scratch initially. But adding a new model is something, or adding a new agent is something that's going to be done on an ongoing basis. And this is the first one, and it was a pretty steep learning curve with that. I really had to rely on Cursor to troubleshoot a lot of this. The collaboration model, so Forge is going to be working with Metric. Metric is our analytics provider. That's a person who's going to be looking at GA4 and Stripe to provide reports to Forge in order for them to make decisions about what experiments to run. Prism is going to be getting a lot of design aspects to it. Forge Atlas SEO isn't really going to be a lot of work. Again, this is a document that was outlined. I actually had the discussion initially with General ChatGPT. I said, I'm thinking about adding a new agent. Help me craft them. This is my current agent list. This is the work that they've output. What is the next most valuable agent that I could add to the system to increase revenue? And it suggested this revenue architect agent. So I asked ChatGPT, okay, specify the agent model. I copied and pasted that into Cursor, and I had a conversation with Cursor, who has context around our entire system and the code behind it of how to set this agent up, and that was done. I had a couple tools that were built. One of the tools was Pipedrive. We use Pipedrive, which is a CRM tool. All of our clients get pushed over to Pipedrive. Pipedrive manages their pipeline status, which is they entered their email address, they signed up for an account, they added their property, their website URL, they had a report, they viewed the report, they signed up for a trial, they canceled their trial. So Pipedrive is a CRM that manages all these states, and I had to build a tool and skill set around Pipedrive. So now we have this full tool set that Forge and Metric are able to call to get information about either a particular client or a trend of clients. And another thing that we use Pipedrive for a lot is automations. So the person comes into our system, and perhaps they entered their website, and we have this automated outreach series that is a series of emails that will go to the person and nurture them along down the pipeline, trying to get them, if they enter their website URL, get them to view the report. If they viewed the report, then we get them to try and start the trial. So we have all these sequences, and here's an example of an email. This is actually the email that the person gets after after the report is generated, and what I'm hoping that Forge is going to do, they're going to go in. So let's say the click-through rate on this email is very low, and I want them to go in and look at the metrics and say, oh, we have a low open rate, we have a low click rate, we have a low click-through rate after they've opened it. So my hope is, it's what I've been doing this whole time, is going in here, looking at the open rates, adjusting this subject lines, trying to improve that. If they get it to open, then improving the click rates, and it's things like changing button colors, changing information on here. So that's what I'm hoping that this new agent is going to be doing, which will take a lot of the manual work that I have to do on an ongoing basis away from me. So yeah, and I've created a Stripe API, so skill set, and this is going to allow Forge to go in and see, their impact and what kind of revenue that they're generating. This is the one I'm most excited for. The SEO ones, as I mentioned, take a little bit longer to see the results from. But this one I'm hoping will have more immediate impact, just like Cypher did. I probably shouldn't have added this person just yet. I kind of jumped the gun because the system is not stable. I'm still burning a ton of tokens. One of the reasons why I just brought up regarding the model caching, when I switched to the Codex model, I reverted that. But yeah, I have to do a deep dive on each agent to see if I could lower their heartbeat rate and in multi-turn, when they do have a heartbeat, to reduce the number of turns of going back and forth with an API model. So all work in progress. I appreciate everyone who's reached out. You guys have been super supportive. I'm going to include my Reddit username link in the video description. Feel free to reach out, comment here. I will reply as much as I can as far as how I've set things up. And yeah, more to come. I'm excited.